Alright, welcome back to Metal Heroes Review episode 118. We are reviewing episodes 47 to 49 of Mobile Cop Jiban. Yep. Pretty much in the way, with the next video, I'll be done with this. I'll be able to move on to my next series, which I'll review before this video is over. So, in these three episodes, 47 is noteworthy. Well, the thing starts out well. One thing noteworthy, there's a reference to Queen Cosmo, who just got killed off the last episode by Jiban. And that, yeah, she is gone. This is a Christmas episode, and it's a partial clip show. Because a lot of these franchises love having where the Christmas episode tends to be a clip show. And it's, well, we do show off the third to last Bioloid in the entire series. Yes, third to last one, which is basically, this is a weird one where like Jiban knows this kid named Ryoki who participated in his drawing contest, and somehow, someway he wins because his drawing becomes a monster, and he gets put inside of it in order to trap Jiban. Eventually, Jiban, thanks to remembering where his weakness is, beats the monster, frees the kid, and that's kind of the episode in a nutshell. Though he thinks about Mayumi in the episode because she was just recaptured by Biolon after being out of their hands since episode 18 of the series. Yes, since episode 18, she's been out of their hands. Now she's back in their hands. Despite having a reference to her in this episode, she has not physically appeared until episode 49. 48 is noteworthy for the one big fun factoid about this episode. Yes, it's a New Year's episode. The monster's about ringing a bell, about New Year. This big plot of this one with basically two guys preparing for New Year's, and you just happen to find a bio factory. Yes, just by sheer coincidence. All because an earthquake shows up. Earthquake happens. But before I talk more on this episode is known for one particular fun factoid. You want to know what that is? It is the final Metal Heroes episode to air in the 1980s. Yes, this very episode 48 is the last one to air in the 80s. Which is interesting to say the least. Yes, the fact that 49 is the first one to do this, and 49 is the first one to air in the 1990s. Yep, very first one. You're like, that's interesting. The fact that you have a show basically where it caps off one decade and starts another. Kamen Rider does this sometimes basically. I would say, I think it was Sky Rider, where that one, so for Kamen Rider it's happened a few times. The first has happened where you had one episode air at the end of a particular decade, and you had one episode start of another decade with Sky Rider. Then it was Kamen Rider RX, which basically, when that finished, that was the last one to air in the 80s. Though no episodes aired in the 1990s, none, because basically RX finished airing during the airing of I think it was Jiban, because I remember basically because I think it was episode 28. No, it wasn't 28. It was 35. I think 35 was 35 was the last time at this point to have an air in the same year where you had Kamen Rider, Metal Heroes, and Super Sentai aired the same year. This song aired along with RX, finishing up that one, and also aired the same year as not Live Man, Turbo Ranger. Yes, Turbo Ranger was airing at the time this one was airing. So what happened in 48? Well, in 48 itself, basically, it's all aside from the fact finding a particular base. Well, not exactly the main. They think it's the main base, but actually, it's basically they're an important biolab of theirs, and think Mayumi's there, but she's really not. They do end up basically getting Jiban gets into the base, which is a really cool atmosphere here. Eventually, the whole thing with the monsters episode, Temple Bell. His whole thing is ringing 108 rings and supposed to kill him. Eventually, he's destroyed, and the biolab there is destroyed. And then episode 49, the whole thing starts out with Matt Garbo, where she's basically finding supposedly Jiban's base, but it's a fake. Yeah. And it's noteworthy for this episode, well, aside from the fact 49 is the first one to air in the 1990s, it is an episode that does advance the plot a little bit. Aside from the fact this also is the first one to air in the 1980s, it is also noteworthy for featuring the final ever Bioloid in Jiban, because the last 3 episodes is no more Bioloids at all. What is the reason for this per se? Not really very sure about that. But my guess is they probably really want to have the last episodes be the end game for the series. That's probably the reason for it. So, we also happen to wear those little creatures who've been popping up a lot throughout basically the series, who are Baba and Maku. These little creatures who pop up occasionally in the background. With this particular episode, they decided to... Bobby is the one-egg creature with legs, and Muku is like thing with a beak that looks like a Furby. Yeah, them appearing this is episode 1. So they kind of tricked them to go back to basically some place that the series has visited since episode 18 of the series, which was Miami's house, which it was destroyed back in episode 18 with a freaking missile. Yes, it was the second time in the series that Dr. Gibba used missile. The third and last known time this happened was a little while ago, I think it was. Was it Turtleoid? No, it was like one. I think it was like the Spore one. Yeah, that was the last known time they did that. And supposedly being reunited briefly with Jiban, though she ends up basically just trying to get away from, not Jiban, but basically protect her little friends. And she's been captured by Bioloid and go in a room with them because supposedly they betrayed them, and that's kind of the episode nutshell. But we are getting toward the very end of this series. Oh, heck yes, definitely. Yeah, but before I end this video here, I'm going to reveal here what my next Metal Hero series is going to be. And it's the first one I'm going to watch. Well, I'm going to watch, I have to watch 2 Sentai shows and Metal Heroes. But it's the first Metal Hero series I'm going to watch that aired in the 1990s. This being another series similar to Jiban. This being Special Investigator Robo Jam Person. Yep, this will be my very next Metal Hero series I'm going to watch. It's going to be quite interesting, this one. Yes, definitely. I won't get to it for a little while, per se. Yep. Looking forward to watching the last 2 episodes and finally cap this off. Excuse me. Yep. So that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, the last 3 episodes of Jiban. Finally, I'm capping this off. Bye.